Welcome to the Mile High PotCast. We're your guides through sordid tales of movies, music, and pop culture. Our show is best experienced under the influence of cannabis, so now is your cue to light up. Now remember, drugs are dangerous. Please use responsibly, but do subscribe. And now your hosts, James Thomas and David Hawk.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night in Colorado, and welcome to the Mile High PotCast. I am your host, Dave. We have a really special show tonight. We have a very special guest with us tonight. We have, for the first time on the Mile High PotCast, also, we have one of our newest hosts of one of our newest shows. But with me tonight, co-hosting with me, since James isn't here, James is not really a music guy. It's mostly me and the lady who is in my bottom left corner compared to where I am. Mel, welcome back to the Mile High PotCast, my music friend.
Hello, thank you. Yeah, no, James, if you ask him what his favorite songs are, they will be Disney soundtracks. Or that's pretty much it. Maybe Take On Me by Aha.
I will say, I took him to his first metal show, and I'm very happy, and he had a good time. So I appreciate that about him.
He did. He enjoyed it.
With me also tonight, like I was saying before, we have one of our newest hosts of one of our newest podcasts. We have Christy Potter from the Potter Girls. How the hell are you?
That's me. I'm
That's
good,
you.
Dave. How are you? It's me. I have a couple of cute boys sitting with me, but they promise to be quiet.
Who, the guy in the back? He's a little too furry to be cute. I don't know.
Oh, he's the cutest.
I don't know. I got two younger ones that are cute.
And with me, for the first time on the Mile High PotCast, we have a very special guest with us, a former contestant on American Idol. Someone who sings, who's like the person who they called like, hey, Amanda, we need the national anthem sung at either this Rockies game, Avalanche game, Nuggets game, Broncos game. Somebody who has worked in the music business as a local legend here in Colorado. I don't know, you're pretty young to be a legend, but I'm going to totally just blow you up. Local music legend. We have Amanda Hawkins with us. And yes, we are related. Actually, three of us are related on this. Sorry, Mel, you're related.
That's okay.
Right?
Okay.
But Amanda Hawkins, welcome to the Mile High PotCast. How the hell are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me. Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. And this is an episode that we have been kind of mulling over for, ever since season one. We've been talking about like, hey, we want to do a show about our favorite concerts because we're a pop culture podcast, and we really want, a lot of us have been to concerts, and a lot of us love music, especially Mel and I. We've talked a lot about how much we love music, and I know Christy is a huge fan of concerts, and then of course Amanda's like, she's played all over the place, and she's been to some crazy ass concerts. So I thought this is a perfect opportunity to knock out this favorite concerts episode. But it's such a great topic that we're going to break it into two parts. So tonight is part one. This is the part where, this is like more less geared towards like the heavy metal side. I'm a metalhead. Mike Santori, who is with us, is a metalhead. James's brother, the Nerd Corner, he's a metalhead of sorts. And so we're having part two next week is our metalhead series. So, please join us for that. But this is part one. This is where we talk about like, what makes concerts great. And we're going to have some real fun concert stories. So I'm very excited. And I have a great panel tonight. So thank you guys so much for being on. But as is tradition, there's, we always have to start the show with a couple of things. And first off, Amanda, what have you been up to?
I have been working from home during the whole COVID thing. I have my two little girls here, so my hands are full. I've been writing new music. Coming up with a plan to play live again someday, hopefully. And just kind of coming up with my next plan of action with music and just trying to stay creative over here. It's a wild time, that's for sure.
So where was the last place you played live? I vaguely remember.
Hard Rock Cafe a year ago, pretty much a few weeks ago, a year ago. I was supposed to be playing like my first Red Rocks gig. I think it was like a couple days after they announced you couldn't have more than a certain amount of people in a room, kind of thing. So that was about a year ago.
Yeah, so you're due. I know you're anxious, but you're always welcome to come play at my Starbucks. We enjoyed having you.
I loved that. I loved that. I needed that, and I loved that. So thank you.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you there. Christy, what have you been up to?
Oh, just living the dream. Getting ready for the Potter Girls podcast next week. We're gonna take on cancel culture, which is a very hot topic right now. So it's we're actually putting some good research into this one. Other than that, just work's picking up with the PPP loan deadline coming up. So we're not supposed to get a whole lot of snow here, but it's kind of fun to watch the weather and see all the snow that everybody else is gonna get.
We're under
day by day.
We're under a winter weather advisory, but I haven't seen one flake yet. It's supposed to drop like 2 feet of snow. I have not seen one flake yet. So
I don't think it starts until tomorrow now, is what they said. 4 or 5 days.
And Mel, what have you been up to? I think you kind of sound like a robot, but tell me your best robot voice.
No, really. Can you hear me now?
No, you still sound like a robot.
Okay. Using charades and using hand gestures, what have you been up to, Mel? She's been writing. And so she's been doing something with her book. All right. I muted you because you sound like a robot, so you can unmute yourself at any time.
How does that happen earlier too when it's not me? I'm so sorry.
Oh man, you're gonna have to start your microphone.
I'll be back.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is the great thing about live entertainment, because sometimes shit goes awry, and that happens to be the case. All right, so we're gonna skip on over to another thing that we're doing. Oh, hello. Is that?
Am I normal?
Hey, she's back.
Yay.
Oh man.
That was very entertaining. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So
I'm glad I studied so hard.
She was studying hard, and you were writing something, and you were.
It's been a lot of writing papers for school. I'm just trying to get as much of that done while we're still in lockdown. I'm selling for Mountain Shores still. A lot of going through cassette tapes. They're not. They were all like 90s cassette tapes. Apparently, those are hot sellers on eBay. So I've been going through those, learning all about 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Which
So
I already knew.
for those of us, because we have Amanda and Christy here, it's a little bit of a different audience than we normally pull in. Tell us what Mountain Shores is to all the new people.
So Mountain Shore is my husband James and I, the normal other host of Mile High PotCast. We have gone into reselling, and we go to different auctions and online auctions, and we find antiques and just interesting little pieces, and you just never know what you're going to get. And we list it after we clean it up and make it a little better, basically. And it's been really fun. We've learned about coins and bells and stamps, and now we're learning about 90s hip hop magazines and cassette tapes. It's just an adventure every time. One time we opened a storage, it had 14 guitars, some brand new in box. Like, who knew? So
That's wild.
yes. So always check out Mountain Shore. We get a lot of music equipment lately, mixing boards, speakers, and amps, and just all kinds of interesting stuff. And it works out in my house because my kids are all musical. So anything we can't sell, we just give it to them.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we are the Mile High Podcast, and we are at our heart a weed-themed podcast. Half of us are consuming tonight, and half of us are not. But we just have to take some time out to give some love to our local shops. Mel, what are you smoking tonight?
So tonight, it's from Live Well. In our defense, we were in an area that only had 2 weed stores, and the other one was closed. So it was Live Well in like Loveland, I think.
Wow, You went quite the distance.
Yeah, we went way out of our way just to end up at Lidwell. No, we were up there.
Lidwell is closer to your house. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, is there? Next time I should check
Like
with
Starbucks,
you
man. They're like on
first.
every corner now.
Yeah, no, I know. It was just the other one was like it was new and it was supposed to have a grand opening. I don't remember what happened, but we'll check it out and see if we can refer them next time we're up north. So, but I'm smoking Sour Dread. It's a sativa pre-roll. I still have other stuff to do after the show, so I'm trying to keep it mellow but not sleepy and stony. So. And I want to give a shout out to Zen Golds again, which is the place that we always go see in Lyons. I recommend it anytime anybody is heading that direction. It's a great little place. They've got a friendly staff. They're very knowledgeable. Every time we've gone up there, they've remembered you, or they've just always had new information. And they're just a great little shop. And it's just an adorable little building too. So everybody go check out Zen Golds.
And where's that? Up in Lyons?
It's in Lyons. Yep. Just like right off the highway. Can't miss it.
Hopefully they'll be a future sponsor. I'm still waiting to hear back from them.
Yeah, that would be great.
Our friend Chef David went up there and he's like, "Hey, you should sponsor my friend's podcast." And I'm like, "Yes, you should totally sponsor his friend's podcast." So
I didn't know he hadn't gotten back to you, but we head that way a lot. We end up in Estes a lot. So next time we stop up there, we'll just remind him because we've been up there twice.
Tell him to check his email. Goddammit. Tell him to check his junk mail just in case it went there instead.
Well, you know what? Maybe the show will remind him.
Yes, absolutely. I like to support the smaller shops. Like my favorite shop, of course, is Lightshade, but that it also is becoming very corporatized. And our homegirl Courtney, who is the reigning champ of James's Games, she runs the Lova Co. over in Aurora, and so I like to stop by there. And we got this stuff, the Certified Magic. It's called Motor Breath. It was highly recommended. It was a premium. I usually go to Lightshade because I can get a bunch of weed for pretty cheap, but I paid top price for this, so it better be good. Or Courtney will send me astray. I knew my terps. She coined this phrase called "know your terps," which is a weed term, and I go into every situation now like, "Tell me about the terps," and they're like, "Okay, this guy knows what he's talking about." All right, and this is my favorite part of the show before we actually get going, because this is where we talk about stuff that we've been watching. And I watch a lot of stuff. So usually I go at the end, and today will be no change on that. So, Mel, what have you been watching?
You know what? I'm a little behind on TV this week. I'm sorry. I'm watching a documentary on Netflix about how they brought the mob down, and I can't think of the name of it. But I've been really into that. And I did watch something else. It's the one about the Royal Hotel in Los Angeles where the girl disappeared.
Oh yeah. The Cecil.
I can't believe. Yes, the Cecil Hotel. So I watched that because being a psychology major, I was interested in all the different theories of what happened to her, and I have my own theory on it. But it was just kind of. I've been into those weird little documentaries lately. I'm waiting for something else to catch my attention, and WandaVision. I totally caught up on WandaVision.
Good. What'd you think? Who else has watched all of WandaVision? Because we won't talk about it if you guys haven't. You watched it? Have you watched it yet?
I'm almost done.
Okay, without saying, I won't spoil it, but I will say I loved it. I really loved it. They lost me in the middle. Not really, because it was kitschy always and fun, but they almost lost me plot-wise in the middle. I was like, this is going to be weird. But they tied it up well, and I'm excited to see where they go.
Yeah, well, they're not going anymore with WandaVision because that is done. That's officially a series. It's a one and done series. So.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought there was a whole second season coming. Oh
no. But we just got done watching the making of WandaVision. So once you guys are done watching WandaVision, go and watch the making of. It's very interesting. Amanda, what have you been watching?
Was gonna say WandaVision. I need to finish that. I watched the really horrible television, the Bravo stuff. So I'm catching up on all the drama lately.
Oh, you are going to be Mel's best friend.
Do you watch like Housewives and like Basketball Wives? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We should talk.
Okay.
We just become best friends.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So that's, the Salt Lake City and all. I mean, it can't get any better than that. So that's kind of what I've been watching. And then a lot of Coco Melon and Baby Bum, which if you have a child that's like, you know, 6 and under, then you know what that is, or maybe even older than that. But a lot of that's happening here in our household lately. That's about it.
You know the
so
theme
far.
song? The Coco
Yeah,
Melon.
it just keeps
What is-
going
I've
and
never heard
going.
the theme song. What does it sound like?
I don't even know if I could sing it. It's almost like a little Jack in the Box type thing, and then the kids yell
Yeah.
Coco Melon. But it's like it's a TikTok meme thing now too.
Ugh, it's too much. They love it, but you know, so that's happening. But yeah, I watch a lot of reality TV. I'm getting through Schitt's Creek. I'm behind on all of that. I tried to start it, and I honestly wasn't into it, which is crazy to me because I love like Best in Show and all of that. So it was weird. But
First season's hard to get through.
I'm going through, yeah. But now I feel like they're like more comfortable in their characters and stuff, so it's starting to get pretty funny. So
Yeah.
And sometimes with shows like that, once I realize I'm gonna love them, I'm like, I don't want to marathon it and have it go too fast.
right, and let it go away.
Right.
Quickly. Yeah.
Just enjoy what you know is coming.
Yeah,
Yep.
wait till you get to that last season. You're like you like will really want to draw it out because you're so invested in all these characters, and then it's like, oh my god, there's like 2 episodes left, and the last season's so good anyway, and then you're like, oh my god, there's 2 episodes left. I really want to watch it, but I don't because 2 episodes and then it's over. Great show. I love that show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's really good.
Christy, what have you been watching, dude? I can't hear you, Christy. You are on mute.
Oh no.
Got
Oh,
it. Sorry.
Poor Dave.
I'm gonna disappoint you again, Dave. I'm still not watching anything. I finished WandaVision
And what did you
and I
think?
read a book.
Well, tell me about both. What did you think of the season? What did you think of WandaVision in total? Because you
I'm
didn't
gonna
come on
rewatch
our quick hits last week.
I know, sorry. I'm gonna
fine.
rewatch WandaVision and just try to enjoy the show and quit trying. You know, now that the theories and all of that are over, I just want to rewatch it and just watch it as a show and see if I can just enjoy it that way instead of everybody picking everything apart. And then I'm looking forward to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I don't think everybody's going to do that. I think we're going to just get to enjoy that.
Yeah.
So I'm reading right now. I'm on a reading kick. So
What are you reading?
that's all the, what?
I said nothing wrong with that.
What'd you read? I read so Stephen King. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. He came out with a great book this week called
Mhm.
Later. Oh, it's so good. So if you guys read books, Stephen King's Later, very good. What are you reading?
No, I just finished The Midnight Library, which was fantastic. And then I started Defending Jacob, which is kind of a big book. But when I'm done with that, my reward is getting to watch Chris Evans on screen doing the miniseries of Defending Jacob. So I'll get through it somehow.
It's your incentive. It's all about the incentives.
It is. Yeah. Mhm.
All right, so now it's my turn. I actually watched quite a few things. Go figure. I like to kind of watch different things from all sorts of different genres. 2 things that really stuck out over the last few weeks: Nomadland, which is available now on Hulu, directed by Chloe Zhao, who just won a Golden Globe for Best Director for directing Nomadland. It stars Frances McDormand. She plays a woman who's just had a lot of tragedy happen, and so she joins up with this band of nomads that just drive around the country in their vans and live out of their vans, and they live a very free life. The great thing about this movie, it's not Frances McDormand is very good in this, but the best thing about the movie are the people that she meets as she's traveling the country. So definitely recommend that. Chloe Zhao is actually directing an MCU movie called The Eternal, or is The Eternals, the movie about the gods. And so that'll be an interesting take in the MCU. The other movie is The United States versus Billie Holiday. I'm a big Billie Holiday fan. Amanda and I have a cousin who actually wrote a play about Billie Holiday. And I found out a lot about who Billie Holiday was. I'm a big fan of her music, but I didn't really know much about her. And she's played marvelously by Audra Day. I think Audra Day was born to play Billie Holiday. Amazing performance. And you find out that she was a heroin addict for the bulk of her career, and she was being harassed by the FBI because she has a song about lynchings in the 1950s, a song called Strange Fruit, all about, bodies swinging from the trees in the South. And it was a very controversial song, so much so that the FBI wanted to ruin her. And she had a heroin addiction at the same time. And so she's trying to compete against the FBI and this heroin addiction, all the while being fucking Billie Holiday. So definitely recommend that movie. It's a great, great movie. And that's called The United States versus Billie Holiday. But still, my favorite movie that I've watched over the last month is this crazy B movie called Psycho Gorman. I can't even explain what it is, but it's a great movie. It's very campy, but it's hilarious, very bloody. So my kind of movies. The great movies there. So that's what I've been watching. And that's just a small part of the shit that I've been watching. I have like a whole like reams of stuff that I watch. That's why I always go last, because I always go long on these. So all right. So the reason why we're here tonight, guys, it's our favorite concerts. This is just an episode where we're just going to kind of go around the horn and talking about some crazy stories from the shows we've been into. But I want to know what makes a concert memorable. I'm going to start with Amanda, because you play a lot of these shows and you go to a lot of these shows. What makes a concert memorable, especially for someone who sees a lot of shows like you do?
I think for me, what makes a concert memorable is the experience, I guess, the vibe of the whole show, and how you feel when you walk away that evening. I think that has a lot to do with it. Because I've walked away from concerts, I've never even heard of the band, and I walked away and was completely moved by their music. And so it's definitely the experience, I think.
What about you, Mel?
Yeah, for me, I think it's the vibe and the experience and all of it. Like, there have been shows that I was really excited to see and got there and I was really disappointed, just for whatever reason. And I think there's certain entertainers where you expect a level of like theatrics, and then there's other ones where I'm perfectly happy to just sit down and listen to them, like sit down themselves on a stage. So it really depends on the vibe.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, Christy? What makes them a concert memorable to you? Like, what sticks out to you?
For me, it's like personal experience. Like if you go to just concert after concert, it's going to be like that personal thing that happened to you. Like maybe you were with a great group of people, or they played a song you haven't heard in forever. Like that personal, like meaningful thing that really kind of brings the show to another level. Yeah,
like a personal connection, sort of like when Christy and I went to a Slipknot show, and first of all, Corey Taylor was like, she was like, Corey Taylor waved at Corey Taylor, I guess. But we also met a one-legged clown who got us to the front of the line somehow. All right, tell the story, because this is exactly what we're talking about. Like, we all have these weird stories. So tell us the Corey Taylor story, Christy.
Do you want me to start from the beginning, how we dressed incredibly inappropriately for that show?
Inappropriate. So this is a Slipknot show, I think, with Fear Factor. God, who else was there? A band called Death by Stereo, or some crazy band like that. Fear Factor, like heavy metal band. And this is at the Fillmore. And when Christy says they're dressed inappropriately, what were you dressed as?
Mike and I had just started recently dating. We were in early to mid 20s. It was a nice summer day. We were dressed, and I'm going to go with like Old Navy preppy fashion. All the other concerts I've ever been to have been fine. I did not know that there was such a specific dress code for like a Slipknot show. And I've been to other vaguely metal shows, so it's not like I never heard of Slipknot. But yeah, no, we were dressed ridiculously. And I remember Dave and Heather get out of the car and they're like, do you want to borrow like a shirt or something? And we're like, no,
there's no
it's
black
cool.
on you.
Stripes and polos and khakis.
Yeah.
Amazing.
They kind of stuck out.
Nice.
Yeah. And then so we're waiting in line and just standing there. You and Heather were way ahead of us. Mike and I were a little further back in line, I think. And like a guy gets out of a car and there's like a bee in my face. I'm like this. And some guy's just like, oh, no, sorry, I was waving at the person next to you. I'm like, oh, no, it was a bee. And then, was it you? You're like, it was Heather. Heather's like, yeah, that was Corey Taylor. And I'm like, I'm sorry, who?
Like, who?
Then I found out who Corey Taylor was, and I was just like, I just need to go home. But I didn't. I stayed. It was a pretty good show, but it was hard
That's
to come back from
amazing.
that.
Yeah,
That's
the most
amazing.
entertaining part of that is Mike and I went to go to the liquor store, and when we came back, Heather and Christy were talking to some dude with one leg. He's like, "Yeah, I lost my leg. I was a clown in the rodeo, and I lost my leg because the train ran over it." And he's like, "I was first in line, so come up with me." And so, like all four of us like follow this one-legged guy up to the front of the line. People are like death staring at us. And we're like, don't look back because these people want to kill you right now. So, that was
When we're
good.
dressed preppy.
It's
Dressed
okay.
preppy.
Mike and I took a
And-
table up in the thing. Nobody wanted our seats. It was fine. I'm like, I'm not going on the floor like this. Nope, they already hate me.
Yeah.
Funny.
What kind of concerts do you guys prefer? Like, Mel, do you prefer intimate shows, stadium shows, festivals? What do you like?
I prefer intimate shows, and followed closely by festivals. I don't like stadiums anymore. There was a time in my life when I did, but I prefer smaller shows. One of my favorite shows, there was just a dive bar, quite honestly, and we didn't even mean to see the band that was there. It was just great. So, what about you?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yes.
stadiums.
I like no, I don't like stadiums. I think stadiums ruin the experience a little bit to me. I like festivals, but they're so quick. Like the
Yeah.
metal shows that I go to, it's like two stages like back to back. So it's like, and you have a lot of bands that you like because when you're in the metal, like into metal like I am, the amount of bands you like are pretty small, and they usually play the same festival. So you're like, I want to go see this band, but they're like right after each other. So you're like trying to bounce back and forth. So I like that okay, but I prefer the more intimate shows. The As I Lay Dying show that I took James to, I mean, it was a smaller venue for that size of a band, and you could really feel the energy. And when you have a smaller show like that, I think that there's a lot more energy in the crowd. What do you
I
think,
get
man?
that.
What do I?
What do you think? What do you prefer? Do you like the intimate shows, the stadium shows, the festivals? Because I know you've been to some awesome shows in all of them.
I like the intimate shows. I've been to some crazy intimate shows, like big artists in an intimate setting.
Like
That
who?
is epic. One was Billie Eilish at the Bluebird. That was crazy. And then Prince at the Ogden was kind of mind-blowing. It was a little mind-blowing, that one. So I love those situations. Stadiums, I had a really great time at a stadium too, but it had nothing to do with the show. I'm not a huge stadium fan. But yeah, I mean those few concerts were pretty epic.
Yeah, I know Mel is a huge Prince fan, so when I thought
Yeah.
of you specifically in that Ogden show with the Prince, for her, because I know she would be, super.
I skipped 2 opportunities to see him over stupid reasons, like boyfriends.
Oh,
You know who you are. And I'm just kidding. I guarantee you he's not watching this show, but nonetheless, I'll never forget that. Oh, he was in town and I'm like, yeah, next time.
yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, my mom saw the tickets. She saw him that he was coming through, that he was playing 2 shows a night. I think it was like 2 nights of it. So she, I'm so lucky, got her and I tickets for the 11:30 p.m. show at the Ogden. That's when it started. And we just waited in line. They told us like no phones or you're out.
Yeah, that's true.
I had just had vocal cord surgery, so I couldn't speak or sing or like anything like that. So I literally had to like soak it in. And that
Mhm.
was seeing a concert like that was actually pretty intense. And it was him and like 3 badass girls behind him playing the bass, drums, and guitar, and that's it. There was like no screen behind him. There was nothing. It was just super simple, and that was kind of life-changing for me because it was like, okay, that's a show right there where he can just kill it in a small venue and just be a musician. And yeah, that was
Yeah. I feel like he's always kind of been like an artist's artist in that way. Like, like he really
Yeah.
loved it. He would just throw intimate concerts like that at his own place and just like, announce that day, come over, first come, first serve. And he'd bring people up and, he'd appreciate local bands. And it was great.
Yeah.
Or he was great, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed out on that. That had to be great.
It was pretty cool.
Some Prince news this week. Eddie Murphy was interviewed about the Dave Chappelle skit where Prince is beating Eddie Murphy and his brother in basketball. And Eddie Murphy confirmed that he in fact got his ass kicked by Prince in basketball. So
He
I thought
did?
I can confirm that I took the Paisley Park tour, and there is a basketball court that you walk through. It's been converted into like a Purple Rain scene thing now, like his motorcycle's in there, but it's a real basketball court.
That's
So
amazing.
Chris,
That's one of my
do you have a
favorite
preference
skits
on
of
the
all time.
concerts? Like
That's
concert
great.
size? Do you like Potter, your lovely husband? He has taken me to very many Dave Matthews concerts, and Fiddler's Green is fun, and I enjoy that. But what kind of venues do you like? Do you like those bigger ones? Do you like smaller ones?
I can't do like the super small like dive bar anymore. Last time Bobby and I went to one, it was Flowbots, and she almost got into a fight. So I think we're gonna avoid the really small venues. I'm definitely a Red Rock snob. I mean, I think it's the perfect venue. Like, it's big enough that you feel that energy from the crowd, but it's small enough that it definitely feels into it, especially if you're, in the first, 30, 50 rows. So I got to go medium. Like, there's been a couple pretty amazing stadium shows I've seen. But I mean, we all know Red Rocks is the perfect venue. So
what was your favorite Red Rock show?
well, Jason Mraz.
Nice.
Tell me about this experience with Jason Mraz. I know you're a big you're a Mraz fan. Oh, I think she froze.
How many times have you seen Jason Mraz, Christy?
You're on mute again.
You're muted.
Christy, you're on mute again.
Sorry, my internet drops and then I get kicked out and I come back in and it's on mute when that happens. I'm sorry. I've seen Jason Mraz like at Red Rocks alone like 4 or 5 times. I've seen him total, I think like 11 now. But it was his first show that I saw at Red Rocks was the one we met him afterwards. Like 20 people stuck around by the buses. Some people do that and usually they maybe wave and go in. And I guess he doesn't normally stop and sign and do pictures and all that. But yeah, I know. I am a Jason Mraz groupie. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Don't be sorry.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to compare that show to anything else because it was an amazing show. He told Neil Patrick Harris in an interview that was his favorite concert because the dates matched up. So I know it was a great show for him. I thought it was a great show. And then I got to meet him and got an autograph and picture. And it was just, you can't beat that. It was amazing. It was magical.
Awesome.
Wow.
How many times has your husband seen Dave Matthews?
12.
12 times.
12.
Amanda or Mel, have you guys seen anybody more than he has seen Dave Matthews Band?
Only my parents' band.
Yeah, Mel grew up a very Partridge Family kind of childhood.
Love that.
Yes, I did. Hence the name. My sister's name is Harmony, so
I love
there's a
that.
theme. Thanks.
Hey Mel, what was your first concert?
I think my first real concert was a Bob Dylan concert. I was very little, like 5 or 6. And actually, I think I'm remembering that wrong. It was an Amnesty International concert. So it was like a charity thing. But it was Peter Gabriel, Bob Dylan, Tracy Chapman, and Bobby McFerrin, I think, and Heart, which was great because I loved Heart. Heart was amazing to me. And Bob Dylan, there was one point where like the people around us were surprised that I knew all the words. I don't even remember what song it was now, but everybody was like, look, she knows the words. And he kind of gestured like he was going to pull me up and sing with me. And my dad was like, And so he was like, okay, well, that's my interaction with Bob Dylan. Was it Bob Dylan? Am I thinking of that right? Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have no idea.
Yeah, it's Bob Dylan.
Amanda, you've had quite a bit of experience getting pulled up on stage to sing. Tell some of the folks, like some of the shows that you've been to, they've like got up on stage and met the people and sang and all that shit.
Pulled up to sing has really only happened. I mean, like every concert I've gone to, I've wished for that to happen. But it's only happened when I think like the anthem for the Cool 105 something that happens at Fiddler's Green, and this band, this sounds
the Turtles, right?
so cheesy. Yeah, the Turtles. They sing that
Me and you and you and me.
Yeah.
We could all hum
It
along.
told me up to sing that tune, so that was fun. Other than that, no, that's never happened. But I've gotten to meet some cool people at shows.
Bless you.
It's
Chester
from
who have you met?
Chester
Yeah.
from Lincoln Park was probably like the most epic moment ever. I was probably like 15. That was really cool. That was Summer Sanitarium at Mile High Stadium. And
I went to that show.
yeah, I briefly remember people like booing Limp Bizkit, and then I remember like flashes of a few other bands. And we had nosebleed tickets, me and my friend Melissa, and we it was my first like stadium show actually. So I was like, I can't sit in seats like this at a rock show. Like, this is bizarre. Like, what are we supposed to do? Just sit here and watch it? It was like weird to me. Yeah. So we went to go grab like a soda, and these kids were like, man, I wish I had 50 cents, to buy a water or something like that. And I had change. So I handed it to them, and they were like, thanks. Like, hey, they didn't scan our floor tickets. Do you want these? Because they had like the wristbands, but I guess they didn't scan them. And I was like, yes. So we ended up on the floor, and then we ended up backstage, and I got to meet Chester for a brief moment. I got a picture. And I was just so obsessed at the time with him, and he's one of my favorite singers of all time. So that was huge.
What was
Huge
your first
moment.
concert?
That's cool.
That's cool. What was your
My
first concert?
That's like instant good karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got weird. It was a weird, just all these weird things that just kind of got us to that moment. It was nuts. My first concert was Ringo Starr. He's a Beatle. He's the drummer. For those who don't know.
If you don't know who Ringo Starr is, stop watching the show and just go away. I don't want you part of this. Sorry.
Is that Fiddler's Green? I remember my parents took me to that, and I was, I don't remember much of that. And then the second one was Spice Girls, so that warmed me up for my Spice Girls moment, and that was awesome.
Nice.
It was very
Christy.
awkward to go to that with my parents, though, I will say.
Christy, tell me your first concert experience.
Mine was also at Fiddler's Green. It was, speaking of cheesy, it was the Monkees, and it was 4th of July, so there was fireworks, and like one of the monkeys like waved at me, and like I think it was Davy Jones, I think, touched my hand, and I didn't want to wash my hand for like a week. I was in kindergarten. I was very little. But Dave, the birthday I got those tickets was the birthday you ruined, if you remember that one.
Yeah, this is like 30 years ago. Still traumatized by the birthday that I ruined.
Yes, very traumatized. You made me cry on that birthday, but then I got Monkees tickets, so it was okay.
Yeah, that what's funny is like that was my first concert too, because it was that concert's so memorable because Weird Al Yankovic wasn't really that big of a name at the time, and he was opening for the Monkees, and he was like running up and down the aisles next to us, and he's playing the accordion. So indelible memory of that. That was that one. And I went to George Michael. Then my parents brought me to Billy Joel, and I threw such a temper tantrum that I made my dad leave. I threw such a temper tantrum. I made my dad leave right before he sang Piano Man, and my dad has still never seen Billy Joel play Piano Man live.
No.
I feel so bad. I'm like, he has a residency in Las Vegas. I'm like, Dad, could I like take you to Las Vegas to go see this fucking concert? I feel so bad. Funny enough, I spent the night at your house, Amanda, the night before, and I was like, stayed up too late, and I was like all cranky, and they're like, I didn't want to go to this show, and then I made my dad leave. Now I feel real shitty about that. Then let's see, I went to my first rap concert was Belle Biv DeVoe. It was pretty sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I just
Nice.
like graduated from Belle Biv DeVoe to fucking like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, 9 Inch Nails, Ice Cube. We went to the first Lollapalooza. So it's a quick graduation from Belle Biv DeVoe to like, you know, some of these harder bands like 9 Inch Nails I'm still into from that. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna ask you, like, you know, tell me some of the favorite concerts you've been to. Tell me some of the crazy stories that you've had. We've all been to hundreds of shows, so I know you have lots of crazy shit to talk about. So, Christy, I want to start with you this time. Just tell me like one of your favorite concerts. Tell me a crazy story. Just go.
Well, okay, I'm gonna do Jason Mraz again, though. I'm sorry.
No, we have a Jason Mraz limit of one.
The odds were in that favor.
But this is a really good show. Please.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So it was the music festival that they do in Aspen. My friend Beck and I got to go, and the VIP section was done by Patron, and I had a connection back then to Patron, so we got to go into the VIP section, which was just full of snotty people who were there for the alcohol, and like nobody gave a shit about the concert. So we got to go like right up by the stage. Like it was off to the left, it wasn't center stage, but like we were like talking to the guitarist, and I'm like friends with him on Instagram now, and like we've had a couple of private conversations on Instagram, and like I swear, like after this concert, Jason Mraz has got to remember me, because we were screaming, because we were drinking too, but we were screaming and singing all the songs and doing all the dorky things, and like everybody else in our section was like standing back with their drinks, acting cool, and we're just the two crazy girls up front. So that is like my second favorite show. That was a wonderful show.
Nice.
What else do I like? There's been so many. Aerosmith was a lot of fun. Walking away from Aerosmith, you realize why that band's been around so long. They put on a good show.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Mel, tell
that's
me.
me.
I'm gonna bounce over you to Mel. Tell me a fun story. Tell me one of your favorite concerts.
Okay. So 2 concerts. One isn't even really a concert. So there in California, there is it's a festival called Reggae on the River, and it is a reggae music festival, obviously. And it's up in like just before Eureka, Humboldt County area. There's these giant redwood forests, and these 2 old hippies used to own this giant piece of property. And there was a dried out Bed Creek area on the property. And once a year, they would just have people get together and do this reggae music concert. But it was a private party. And then like they started selling tickets. And so by the time I went, it was the 20th anniversary. But you buy tickets to camp on site for 3 days. I mean, I got a hotel room it's like a 40-minute drive to the nearest town, but I did that. And we also camped, but I just had backup for when I wanted to shower or get away, because there was a lot. It was a lot going on there. But I will say this, that because it's a private property concert, they don't let there's no police, there's no security, there's no medical, nothing. And it was very, very easygoing 3 days for the most part. I had a shroom experience there, but I won't waste time on that because that wasn't music related. But the neat thing is I saw Ben Harper there, because it was just before he got really big. And that was great. That was probably one of my favorite surprises. I was like, oh, he's great. I looked him up and I've been kind of into him ever since. So, but yeah, 3 days, it was very music based, and people like shared food and very hippie. And I didn't know that still existed at that time. It was like 2003. So,
I'm a camper. I don't know if I would be able to survive that.
Well, neither am I. And that's why I got the hotel room. And I think I drove home all but the last night drove to the hotel all but the last night, just because I wanted, I don't know. I was just like, I don't have to camp though. And it's on a rock bed. It's a dried out creek. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not my style. But the other it wasn't even a concert. It was just a random ass dive bar in Las Vegas. And I was going for work for a trade show, and I was tired of being on the Strip. So we went to over by the Golden Nugget, that other old Vegas area. And there was just this bar with a stage, and there's these 2 guys playing. And there was this other guy that was sitting at the table, and he kept like riling out, yeah. And it was just like us, me and my coworkers and my husband, and all my coworkers' spouses. And this one guy who's like really riling this band on. And We're like, that guy's really likes this band. And they were good. And so we were like, yeah, they're not bad. And then the guy starts singing along from the table, and then the band invites him up. And then it turns out that what we were watching was the guys who do the Queen concert, like the Queen show in Vegas. That's just, it's their band. They were just there on like an open stage night. And it was the new lead singer that was about to take over. And they did like probably 8 different Queen songs for just me, my coworkers, and our families. It was so good. We were like right there. Our table was right in front of the stage. It was just the most fun ever because, you know, you just didn't expect it. You were like, oh, this guy's drunk, you know, and you thought he was going to get up and make a fool out of himself. And he sounded like fucking Freddie Mercury. It was just amazing.
So cool.
That must be cool.
So
Amanda,
fun.
why don't you tell me favorite concert or a crazy concert story?
Maybe concert story. Let's see. I tried to write down all the concerts because I was curious. I had to like try time travel to see like which ones. I was thinking Red Rocks. I mean, all the shows I've seen at Red Rocks have all been pretty incredible. Incubus, I saw at Red Rocks a long time ago when they filmed their DVD. It was like a live DVD and they filmed it there, but we didn't know that. And we got pretty close to I think we were like 4th row for that one. And they played for an extremely long time, which was really cool. So that was really awesome. I've seen, you know, Bonnie Raitt there, Halsey, Lauryn Hill, a lot of cool artists at Red Rocks. So those are probably some of the most memorable shows. But yeah, I love all the genres and all the venues.
You know, Red Rocks holds a very special place in our heart. It's like, you know, Colorado, you know, puts Colorado on the map. So any Red Rock show is great. There's a few shows that stick out there. Maybe aren't my favorite shows, but they're the ones that stuck out the most. And it's just kind of appropriate that Mike Potter is behind you, Christy, because one of the most memorable shows I went to was up at Red Rocks. And we were up at a festival, and it was like pouring ass all fucking day. It was raining, and then it finally cleared up, and then the Doors come on. The Doors, the 21st Century. And man, they're like, as soon as they hit Riders on the Storm, boom, big like fucking thunderbolt, and then just like sort of pouring rain. Some of the craziest shit I've ever saw in my life. Real fucking crazy. And then another show that really sticks out, it's like probably one of my top 2 concerts of all time. I love Tool. I love A Perfect Circle. I was at a 9 Inch Nails show at Pepsi Center, and A Perfect Circle had just come out, and they're fronted by Maynard, who's just a weird fucking guy. He does weird shit on stage, and this whole time he's playing this concert, he stands in one place. He has his long hair over his face, and he's singing underneath his hair the whole show. Like, you don't see his face at all. He just stands there the whole time singing. And then he hits the last note of the last song, and he fucking rips off his hair, and he's bald the whole fucking time. And you're just like, holy shit, what just happened? I have no idea what just happened. At that same show, my friend DW, he got kicked in the head. This is his first metal show, and he got kicked in the head by a dude crowd surfing. So he does not like metal shows after that. So those are a couple of my shows that stand out. But we actually have some special guests here tonight. And I want to invite on our special guests, Bonnie Murphy and Paul Hawkins. I would like you to unmute your cameras and your microphones.
Woo!
This could go well, or this could go completely awry.
Hey,
Hey,
here we are. Here we are.
let's see
There
if
we
we
were.
can get Bonnie Murphy up here. If Bonnie Murphy can, she's been on like the whole time, so she deserves to go first. But Miss Bonnie, will you turn on your camera if you can? I hear your voice. I hear the voice. I just don't see
I don't
the
know what
face.
Bonnie.
Okay. Click on that where
There
it
we
says,
go.
oh, there
We
you
did it.
are.
There she
We
is.
did it. Oh my god.
Hi, Bon.
Hi, Bon Bon.
All right, so we're all family, and man, my family pretty much sponsors Truckee Pacific at this point, so I'm just gonna have all my family on this show. This is gonna be the Hawkins
That's
Hour.
Thanks, family.
So Bonnie, who is my aunt and who is my mom's sister and my cousin Christy's mom. That's how we're all related here. She's been to a lot of concerts. So why don't you tell me just like one of your favorite concerts or a crazy concert story?
The best concert I've ever been to has been Garth Brooks at T-Mobile Arena here.
Yes.
It was
Love him.
the first concert I saw at T-Mobile, which is an amazing place to see a concert. I just can't say enough. He's such an entertainer.
I bet he was incredible.
He was. And then he brought Trisha up, so it was even better.
Oh,
I made Betsy do it.
So tell me, Miss and Bonnie, tell me a crazy story from a show you've been in the past. Just like, I know you've had some
No,
crazy
I can't tell.
experiences.
I cannot
You
tell
tell-
the Boss
of course you
Gang
can.
story.
Tell you good.
Mom, I already know all the stories. Just
no,
tell
you
the
don't.
No, we got a story. We have a
don't,
story
Christy.
with Bonnie.
Okay, you tell it, Paul. You're
If you
much
don't
better.
Tell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell it.
Tell it.
Long story short, we were at Red Rocks for Joni Mitchell. We spent the whole day there.
You're second row.
Beautiful weather the entire day. They started 3 notes into the concert and it was a downpour. So they have a reschedule for the next day at the Denver Arena. Okay, so we're in the 3rd row at Red Rocks. So next day we go to the arena and we get down to the auditorium and somebody has forgotten the tickets and we don't know who it is. So
Initials are PA.
we have somebody has to go home and get the tickets, and while somebody's getting the tickets, somebody else is trying to save the parking place
That we already paid for.
that we already paid for down at the arena. And then anyway, long story short, or short story long, we ended up like last row
Last row.
in the arena.
Okay.
And,
And we didn't get our parking place because these guys came driving up and me and Bonnie are standing there going, no, don't do that. Don't park here. We already paid. And they said, move it because we were going to park here. So then they just fucking parked there. And then when we were inside the concert, we saw them, right, Bonnie? We saw them. We went, there they are, Paul, go get them. And then where they were was up on stage. They were the grips.
yeah, they were the dancers. Yeah, so anyway,
Go get them, Paul.
and we also saw Boss Skaggs. Did we see Boss Skaggs?
Yes, with Bonnie at
at
Red Rocks.
And
That was
there were people
quite a
having
learning.
sex in the row in front of
A
us.
menage a trois.
Yeah, menage a trois at
And,
Boss
yeah,
Skaggs. So
Barry
that
and
was
I
There's
were-
fun.
something
why
about
do you-
Boss Skaggs that just like, really gets you going.
That's right.
I can
Absolutely.
pick your nose, James.
Barry and I were very young.
Yes.
It took
Barry,
me by
we figured
surprise.
out this, Bonnie. Barry was like 13 or 14 is all.
Yeah.
It was
Smart
So I
quite
was
an
like
education
50.
for him.
So funny. Amazing.
All right, well, thank you, Paul and Betsy and Aunt Bonnie. Thank you for coming on. We love your old school hippie shows, and they're censoring their stories. They have like stories that are way worse, but they don't want to tell us.
They're
Can I
being
tell you one
shy,
more?
Dave.
Real quick one.
All right, go
Dave?
for it. Of course.
Okay, real quick. Out in California, Bill Graham, the concert impresario from the late 60s, he died and they had a concert for him in Golden Gate Park. So I happened to be stationed out there temporarily. And so I went to that concert, spent the night on the beach the night before in a sleeping bag. And next morning went over there and anyway, they had a concert and for free, we had Los Lobos, Jackson Brown, Aaron Neville, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Tracy Chapman, Journey, Santana, Grateful Dead, Robin Williams, and Bobby McFerrin. So some of the
Dang.
people, Mel, that you had
It's a
talked
hell of a
about.
lineup.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Actually,
hell of a
I have
lineup too. That was
I have
great.
another-
It was wonderful.
Yeah. Go for
Another
it.
Bobby McFerrin story is that one time he came and saw me sing when I was a
Really?
kid. Yes, I was in a choir because my parents they're musicians and they sent me. We studied music for a long time. I got in high school and I got too cool for whatever my parents were into for a while. But up until then, I was in this choir that would tour and we would sing for local opera houses and stuff in San Francisco and all up and down the Bay Area. And he came to see us in San Francisco. I think we were doing we were doing Bohème. And we were going to be little cherubs, but he came to hear us warming up and he was with Tony Randall, who also came in and they asked us if we would sing other stuff. And Tony Randall actually had a friend write this opera called The Pillows of Cantan or something like that, for our choir after they heard us sing that day. But Bobby McFerrin gave us like a little vocal class. You know, he does do that too, but like he gave us like a little 10-minute little technique tips, quick thing. And we were like 12. So we were just starting to be old enough to kind of appreciate that, but we weren't like a school lighthearted choir. This was a serious thing that we did in our extra time. We lost our whole summer touring. And so it was really like kids who really appreciated it. And it was an amazing experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Can I say one more quick thing?
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
You sponsor this whole. You sponsor the show. You sponsor the company, so you can do whatever the fuck you want.
My cousin, who's quite a bit older than me, like 10 years older than me. We used to have this act when I was like 8 or 9, and we used to play for the USO shows. Okay, do you know what that is? United Service Organization. Okay, so we were at lunch like a couple years ago, and my cousin says, "So do you still have your complimentary striped shirt from when we opened for the Beach Boys?" And I went, "What?" And she went, "You don't remember when we opened for the Beach Boys?" Anyway, I had no idea because, if they were just starting out, if they were at USO shows, right? But apparently she still had one of those striped shirts. So apparently I opened for the Beach Boys one time. And I know Amanda opened for One Republic. Didn't you?
She did.
That's
did.
A Christmas show. Yeah, that was crazy.
So anyway, that's my story.
Well, thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Paul and Betsy and Bunny for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm gonna whip around again real quick. We're starting to open up. Vaccines are going out. The president threw down a July 4th goal for the world to kind of return to normalcy, and with that comes live music. When concerts start coming back around, are you going to be going to those? Are you going to feel confident enough to go? Amanda, are you going to go to a concert?
Yes, as soon as possible.
Hopefully she will be in the concerts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, man, live music, it's been such a rough year for so many people, but I think people who are definitely in the live, I mean, think about like roadies and just people who like their lives revolve around a live show. It's just it's in Broadway, like it's hard to even think about. But yes, I will be getting the vaccine, and I will be excited to be front row and acting a fool at all of the concerts. Yes, I won't be missing out on much in the future. I'm gonna try and get myself out there a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear you.
Good.
How about you, Mel? Are you gonna be going to the shows when they start opening up again?
Because once vaccinations are at the right point, everything starts opening up. Absolutely, I'm going to trust the way the system is designed right now. I have no reason not to with this current situation, so I feel very comfortable. To be honest, I've already gotten my first shot, so we are caregivers for a family member, and because of that, we were able to get it just recently. So I'm very excited that means that everybody else soon will have access to it, and it will just, things will get better, and things will get back to normal when that happens. Absolutely. And I think I will appreciate, even though we talked about local venues and everything, just more local artists and performers in general. I think I'm going to be more focused on that. I think I realized that, it takes so much of community support to get that stuff out there. And with the internet, it's not like radio where if you get picked up, everybody likes you and everybody in the country knows you anymore. You have to really stand out and you have to get that support. So I'm going to start paying attention to that kind of stuff a bit more than I have recently. I've been lazy. I've let Sirius XM tell me what to listen to a lot. And, I've been busy, I guess. And so, absolutely, I'll be there.
How about you, Christy?
I don't actually really like people a whole lot. So it's going to take a lot for me to go. Like, it's going to have to be someone I really like. I would definitely say yes to like something at Red Rocks I would probably do in the fall. I like that idea of trying to catch like some like the local stuff. We've got plenty of great outdoor venues that happen up here. So if it's outdoor, I'll probably go. I'm definitely going to avoid like a really crowded bar. Just, Not even so much because the virus, just because I'm 38 and I don't want to be with those people anymore. But if my boy has a tour, I'm gonna have to go see Jason Mraz again. So other than that, yeah, no, I'll see a Red Rock show or something outdoor, something small. Absolutely.
Yeah, my first show after stuff starts getting real is going to be your show, Amanda, because if you guys have not been to one of Amanda's shows, she puts on a great show. So that'll be my first concert, but I got to see a metal show, man. I'm like you, Christy. I'm like a great amalgamation of our entire family. Like, I'm pretty antisocial, but when it comes to like going out to see live music, that's when I'm a social butterfly. Just ask James; he'll tell you. James is gloating, by the way, that he went and saw the Hard Knock Life tour. It sounds like an Annie thing. I'm not sure what that is.
It's Jay-Z.
That's Jay-Z.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go see live music. I got to see metal shows. So what's up, Mel?
I was just gonna say the one experience I lived in the Bay Area in the 90s, and so the concerts I went to were very varied because of my parents' background in music and everything, and being near Berkeley and San Francisco. But also I went to a lot of rap concerts, and I have to say in the early 90s rap concerts were awful. I don't care, it wasn't set up for that yet. Like, they didn't know how to account for the different types of tones that are used when you're rapping versus singing R&B versus singing opera. Like, that's all very different audio techniques, and it was awful. It was awful, but I always still tried to go. So I've heard they've gotten better.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you. I will tell you though that coming out, I've said this about a million times, but coming out of the pandemic, there's gonna be so much great music coming out, and I'm just excited. Like, you're starting to see music and shows and stuff already starting to trickle out. I mean, Elton John threw up a new album this week. New Order. I mean, New Order's been gone for a while, and they put out some new. I mean, like, there's a lot of great art that is being generated right now. I know, Amanda, you're working on stuff that's about to drop. So I mean, like, I'm so excited for like this next 6 months to a year, just like all the great art, and I can't wait to see it, and especially see it live. So definitely support your local musicians, your local restaurants. Support local, shop local. Also, invest a little. Well, if you have some money left over from all those expensive tickets, you can throw a couple of cents our way. And speaking of Truckee Pacific, next week is going to be part 2. It's going to be the metal show with Santori, me, and Chris from the Nerd Corner. We're going to talk about the massive pits that we've been in and all the heavy metal shows that we've seen, all the blood and the evil. Yeah. Amanda, I know you can throw down in a pit. You may be small in stature, but I know you can throw some fucking bones. You're more than welcome to join, because I know you've seen some metal shows too. So you're more than welcome to join on. James can join on too. He has officially been to one metal show, so he has a story. So he's more than welcome to jump on too.
But Christy's not invited anymore.
No, she. You went to the one metal show. You embarrassed yourself at Slipknot. I'm just kidding.
My cousin took me to a Guar show without telling me what that was. That's my first and only metal show.
Such a great show too. Hey, if that's going to be your only metal show, that's a great fucking show to go to. It
was definitely like an old. Oh no, that's not true. I don't know if this is considered. I went to My Name Is Mud. Who was that? Yeah, I saw them one year on New Year's. My Alexa just started playing it. Hang on.
Listen. Come on, Alexa.
No, copyright.
You can't afford the copyright.
Sorry.
My name is Bud.
I don't know why it said that.
My name is Mud. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Great song.
Right
there. So make sure you tune in next week for the Metal Hour, part 2 of our concert show. I know we all have stuff that we want to plug. So I'm going to start with Christy, because you have something coming up next week. What do you want to plug?
Yep. Thursday at 7 is the Potter Girls. I promise not to rush this episode. We're going to give it all the time it needs. Cancel culture. Be there. Beware.
Or don't be. If you canceled, then don't show up. We don't want your opinion.
Sure. Okay.
Mel, what do you got? What are you plugging these days?
Go to eBay, visit Mountain Shore. That's mountain and shore, like the mountains and the shore. And check out our shop. We have all kinds of neat little kitschy stuff, different collectibles, different books, different whatever. And I have more stuff that I just haven't listed. So keep following us. We got a lot of stuff going on.
If you love bells, Mountain Shore is your way to go. They have
yes, I have a ton of with perfect patina, like original patina finish. Obviously, I'm new to bells, but if you love bells, come to our site and let us know because we've just got we ended up with a lot of bells.
A lot of bells.
Big bells, small bells, old bells.
Bells that go ding ding ding. Other bells that go dong dong dong.
Bong, bong, bong. Right.
Amanda, plug away. Go for it. I know you got a lot of stuff coming up, so go ahead and plug away.
I have a new single coming out soon. It's almost done, almost ready. I'm super, super, super excited about this one. It's not like a heartbreak, rip your heart out kind of song. It makes you feel good, so that's a plus.
I'm not gonna listen to it.
I'm excited about that one. I'm just trying to write more music at this point, getting my little studio set up here, and so I have a lot of new music coming, hopefully an EP, hopefully live music, hoping to play, once the weather starts getting nice, I'll be out there with my guitar somewhere. So you can find me on like Amanda Hawkins, at Starbucks, at Dave's Starbucks. You can find all of it at amandahawkins.com. I'm on Instagram quite a bit, and then the PG version of me is on Facebook.
And she's on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. I don't follow TikTok, so TikTok. I don't really know.
Don't go there. It just takes over.
It's fun. But I don't make them. So
I haven't learned to dance yet, but so that might happen someday.
I learned the WAP dance, and then like 2 days after I was like, okay, I think I really could do that someday, I had to have gallbladder surgery unexpectedly. I was like, yeah, well.
I think those
I'm sure it wasn't as good as I felt like I was at it.
I think watching TikTok led to your gallbladder like blowing up. So I think the two.
Post that.
I was just, and my gallbladder was like, no, I gotta get out of here.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
So as you see, the thing I am always trying to plug, go to Amazon.com. Caldera is available now on Amazon. The audiobook for Race Through Space Event Horizon 2 should be up on Audible here soon. I got a new narrator because it's a female-driven story, so I got a female to narrate the book, and she killed it, absolutely killed it. So I'm excited for the Race Through Space audiobook coming to Audible soon. And that's pretty much all the stuff I have to plug. Please go to the Mile High PotCast at gmail.com if you have any comments, concerns, criticisms. If you're angry with how the show went, just let us know. We'll fulfill your refund request. You can go to www.truckypacific.com. They have all of our shows there, links to all the different shows that we have, and you get to see lots of pictures of me and Mel Santori. Christy, you will be on there eventually, whenever James finds the time to upload your picture up there. Ultimately, we're doing this because we don't really like doing day jobs. Like, this is way more fun than like going to work. So in order for us to make that happen, we would like you to make your money our money. So if you can go to our Venmo at Truckee Pacific 303, give us $1, a couple $100, man. Just feel free to throw as much money. Like, there's no donation too big for us. Exactly. So go to our Venmo at Truckee Pacific 303. We want to thank Bonnie Murphy, and then Paul and Betsy Hawkins, and Christy and Mike Potter. Of course, they are our season sponsors for this year. So I want to give a big shout out to them. We got to pretty much my family is funding this whole operation. So I'm running out of family to pay for all my shit. So we need other people other than my family to pay for our stuff. So any last words? Anything you guys want to say goodbye to anybody? You want to shout outs to anybody?
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thanks for having you on. Thank you for having you on. No, thank you for coming on our show. I really appreciate it. Christy, thanks for coming on last minute. I hope you guys had a great time. Enjoy the blizzard, and be good to each other.
Everyone stay warm.
Have a good night.
This has been a Truckee Pacific production. For sponsorship inquiries and comments, go to the Mile High Podcast at gmail.com.